Why is there a sewing machine tilted on its side and almost completely taken apart? Because I am gonna try to adjust the timing of the bobbin hook by myself from home by watching YouTube videos. My name is Isabelle, and this is my current hyperfixation. Hello. Welcome to my craft studio. I feel like I should find something to clip this to, because that's what all of the other crafting YouTubers do. Is the loop turner too small? What about a pair of scissors? That's not dangerous. Here we go. So in all fairness, this isn't exactly a craft studio. This is one half of my home office. The other half that you can't see has my office, and like my work computers and all of that good stuff. But I recently made the adjustment to put another table here and make this, get that string out of here, make this a craft room as well, because I realized that I actually do my hobbies when they are like out and about and visible to me. Case in point, I just started using a mending basket by my sofa. Insert footage of mending basket here. Isn't she so cute? And it's got all my little mending bits in there for when I need to fix a rip in something or sew on a button. But it's also where I keep like whatever couch project I'm working on at the time, like whatever knitting project or crochet project or embroidery thing I'm doing. And I was doing a lot more of that because it was right there and easily accessible. And I was like, what if I did that, but just with all of my other craft shit? So here we are, and we're calling it a craft studio. And since I have made a dedicated space for doing whatever kind of stuff I feel like dabbling in, I thought, why not make it a thing and, invite other people to join me on the various crafting and other hyperfixations I may find myself upon as the days and years go by. So today we are starting off very easy and cheating just a little bit with turning this into a top. Let me tell you about it. So this top is not actually meant to be a top like a shirt. This is a toile I was making for the bodice of a dress I would like to try making sometime soon. I had this dress from Old Navy that I really, really loved, that I had for years, and it recently kind of started to fall apart because I've had it for so long, and also just wasn't super fitting great in the bodice anymore. It was a little tight. It's this dress right here, ding, and I really missed being able to wear it, but I really couldn't anymore. So I took it apart and I traced the pattern and I added some ease into all of the seams to see if I could maybe just like make it go up basically like a size and make it something wearable. But then I figured, okay, this is done. I'm gonna put it in my bag of scraps. This is my bag of scraps. And, I can use it for other things that I need to do later. And then I thought, you know what? I put a lot of work into this. I ended up not only using this like to mock up and see if I could remake that other dress, but I also took it as an opportunity to practice some things. So for example, this was before I had my surgery. So I was taking the time, even though this was a mock-up, to practice French seams, which are not very hard, but boy, are they fussy. I'm glad I have a serger now. I was also taking the opportunity to learn how to do shirred fabric, which I had never done before and is, again, not hard, but time consuming for sure. Besides the fact that all of the seams are only basted in, it's a fine garment. It's a fine construction. Yes, it is just muslin, but wear a nude bra under it and it's going to be fine. And so I've decided I do actually want to finish it and make it a garment I can wear. I don't want to make a whole dress out of it, mostly because I do not have enough of the same muslin to make a skirt, and I'm not interested in buying new fabric for what is essentially like a fuck around and find out project. But I do actually want to make it something wearable, and it gives me an excuse to practice some other sewing skills that I have not yet tried or that I haven't done in a really long time. And it kind of gaps up here at the top. I want to experiment with like what is the best way to fix that and make it look kind of seamless. Obviously I could just put like darts right here, but that's going to be a very visible line. And so I want to look up some tutorials about like other options that I can do to make it fit a little bit better. The neckline clearly is not finished. It's a very raw edge and fraying. I've done a lot of dresses or tops that have a facing, which I'm very, I don't know if I'd say skilled, but I'm very familiar with. I want to practice working with bias tape. And part of that is practicing to make my own bias tape. I have these little bias tape maker things that I've had for a long time that I've never actually tried. So I want to mess with that and try making my own bias tape, especially because that way it'll match the fabric exactly. I do have enough muslin to do that. And then I obviously need to do something to finish the bottom. The bottom edge is raw as well. Anything I would do to finish the bottom would need to allow for the shirring to continue to stretch to get over my body. And so I thought maybe we put a band at the bottom that ends in like a ribbon. I can tie in a bow in the back. Maybe? I don't know. I'm curious. Let's find out. Okay, so the steps we need to accomplish are as follows. Actually, you know what? We're going to make a list. Come with me. We're making a list. If you couldn't tell, I usually use this dry erase board for poetry drafting. So we're going to just make a little space to give ourselves some room for a list. We are calling this, we'll just call this toile blouse. Boop. Okay, so first thing I should do is give it all a good press. So iron, then reinforce seams. Okay, gaps in front. Bias tape. Let me spell bias tape. Bias tape neckline, and then bow tie hem closure. That seems it. That seems it. Okay. All right, so step one, let's get out the ironing board. Actually, I lied. Step one should be step 0. You are gonna go back in time with me and watch me attempt to fix my sewing machine because he's acted up and I don't know what's wrong with it. So, okay. I realized this is really where the journey begins. So I should be filming this. So here we are. This is a terrible angle, but I have a back injury going on right now and I have to stand at my desk. So this is why you're so high up in the air. I don't apologize for it. My back hurts. Okay. This is the sewing machine I'm currently working with. My newer machine is at the shop being serviced. It's a computerized machine, so I don't dare touch it at home. This machine is much older. It's from like 1984 or 5, maybe 6. I think it was, I don't remember if my mom got it when she was in college or right after she left college, but it's entirely mechanical and I feel a lot safer messing with this one because I can see how the pieces work together. I don't understand. I do not have enough understanding of like circuitry and stuff to mess with the computerized one. Anyway, so I want to start doing some work and I'm tired of waiting for my other machine, so I've gotten this one out and I am watching a video on how to fix the timing because my only complaint about using this machine lately, well, that's oily. Ugh. My only complaint about using this machine lately is that it's been skipping stitches, and I dived deep into the internet and watched a lot of videos from sewing machine technicians to determine what are the reasons why your machine might be skipping stitches, and I tried all the easy things like changing the needle, adjusting the tension. It's still not doing anything. And then I watched a whole video on how the timing of your machine is supposed to work and when the hook on the bobbin is supposed to meet the eye of the needle. And so I figured out I had to take mine apart and look at all of those things and my timing is off. So now we're gonna attempt to fix the timing of my machine. I had to crack open the bottom of this and I realized it was disgusting and full of lint, which might have also been contributing to skipping stitches. So I'm still gonna, obviously the timing does need to be fixed. But we're starting with just kind of cleaning the lint out of here. Should I be doing this on my lunch break? Probably not. I have two feelings about doing all of this and also filming it, and one is, they're both about my mother, and one is that my mother's gonna see this and go, oh, look at her getting back into sewing and taking good care of her machine, and the other thought is that she's gonna see this and go, what the fuck is she doing? I promise the Bernina is at the shop and in good hands, Ma. This one, I feel confident I'm not gonna fuck up. Okay, so I need to thread this. I'm literally just gonna use a bobbin that I already have wound so I can watch how the thread moves through the machine. I don't need to actually thread it.
I'm just gonna go and check. Right there.
I think it's fine, actually. Okay, so maybe it's not the timing, because it is catching. I'm gonna, hang on, let me bring you in. Here's the thing, is, oh my god, can you focus? Thank you. All right, so the hook is catching the thread, fine. The hook is catching the thread, fine. Okay, so I've got some scrap fabric in there. I re-threaded it. This is probably not the best scrap fabric for a general test, but this is a jersey, like a ballpoint needle, which is meant for stretch fabrics, and that's the scrap that I have. Sorry, that's the needle that I have, so I went with a stretch scrap because part of the skipping stitches problem can be the wrong needle. So this isn't plugged in. I'm just gonna crank the hand wheel and see. So I'm wondering if maybe it was just skipping stitches because I hadn't used it in a while. Because, yeah, look at that. That looks great. Okay, so I don't know what was going wrong. The problem seems to have solved itself. I hadn't used this machine in a hot minute because I was using the newer one, and so it's very likely that it just needed to, like, I don't know, warm up. Get some more project and like runtime under its belt before it would start to behave properly. I do know that some of the fabric I was initially testing on, the problem was that I was absolutely using the wrong needle. I was just testing and practicing on scraps from a dress that I took apart, which was rayon material, which needs a, I have a screwdriver for this purpose. Let me get that thing out. I was messing with a fabric, like a leftover fabric from a dress that I had taken apart that needed, that was rayon, and rayon needs a sharp needle, like a Microtex sharp needle, which is not what I was using. I was just using a universal needle, and so that was definitely the problem with that. It seems like we are mostly back on track, so I'm going to put this together, and then my lunch break is over, so I need to get back to work. And then maybe this weekend I can get a project going. So, ironing. What I want to do first, what I've seen people do is use steam to kind of help the shirring like shrink up a little bit. So I want to do that first, but first I gotta fill up my iron. And yes, I am using the milk pitcher from my espresso machine to put water into my iron. I do not know where the little plastic spouted thing is that is actually designed for this. So use what you got. All right, so I can smell it heating up. Perfect. I'm just kind of hovering it over and giving it a little spray to make some steam. I don't know if that actually did anything. So I figure while I iron, let's yap a little bit. Maybe this can be like a segment moving forward, iron and yap. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done the YouTube thing. It's been a long time since I've done the sewing garments thing. I learned to sew when I was really young. My mother is a very accomplished quilter, but she started off learning to sew by making clothes for my sisters and I when we were younger, she would make us like special occasion clothes, and that's where she really learned to sew. We had a lot of like matching holiday dress situations. I remember we had these itty bitty, like, they were almost like toy uh, sewing machines. If I can find pictures online, I'll put them in. They were so stinking cute, but quilting has not continued to be my passion, much to my mother's dismay. Sorry, Ma. I honestly don't remember if I made any garments before I was like an adult. I want to say surely I did, but I don't actually know. The first garments I remember starting to make were when I was in college. I remember being really excited to make garments that I would wear in grad school as a teacher because I was going to be teaching my own classes for the first time. And then I kind of stopped and I didn't do much. And I've just been carrying two pretty nice sewing machines around with me and all of these skills for years. And I haven't really dived back into it until recently. And honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I have a job that I enjoy, that I intend to be at for quite some time. So it's not something that needs a lot of getting used to. And it, that frees up my time outside of work to really like get stuck into things that I enjoy rather than having to use all my time outside of work just to kind of like rest. So, what better time to start digging into the things that I used to enjoy? So, this, introduction is going to be specifically a sewing project. And honestly, I anticipate I will probably want to continue with sewing projects for a while because, as the channel name suggests, this is all about whatever I'm hyperfixating on in the moment. I have ADHD and it is unmedicated for a number of reasons, but don't worry about it. I am the sort of cliche picking up and dropping hobbies like hot potatoes kind of person. So I am just going to give myself permission with this channel and this endeavor to just follow the dopamine when it hits and move from thing to thing. I can tell you that the hobbies I do have are, I mean, there's a lot of them that involve crafting. I'm not gonna lie, but that could be sewing garments. It could be knitting or crocheting or embroidery. Those are also some like fiber crafts that I enjoy. I also enjoy baking a lot. I will probably do some of that here. I have always wanted to get into some more like advanced baking techniques, like some French patisserie stuff. I really would love to learn how to make like croissants at some point, that sort of thing. In the last couple of years, I have gotten really back into enjoying um, video games, which was never a huge thing. I say gotten back into. I was never really super into video games. I just recently bought um, Kingdom Hearts for the Switch because that was something my sister and I really enjoyed playing when we were kids. I started playing it and I have quickly determined I need to go back and redo the settings because I was actually chatting to my sister about it. And I was like, I keep getting stuck in Wonderland. So that's something that I thought could be fun to do with you. I have no idea how to do like the capture card stuff, but we'll figure it out together, folks. Because it's entirely too hot in this room. I need to leave and turn the iron off and let it cool down before I come back. So the next time you see me, that is what we'll be doing. So then I started the process of putting in the darts. So I put it on myself and then measured and put a pin where I wanted them to be and then marked it on the blouse itself. Then I went ahead and sewed across those lines. And then I tried it on and it fit. And then I serged the excess material off and moved on to putting on the sleeves the correct way. And now enjoy some of the various vocal shenanigans I got up to while stitching. Oh, that didn't sound good. We'll investigate when I'm done. I surged too far. I surged too close to the sun. I hate sleeves. I hate set-in sleeves. God. Yeah. Yeah. No. So then I went on to make my own bias tape with this gadget, and wow, what a trip that was. Get your shit together! Come on! Maybe what I've written here is for making. Oh, and it's all coming off with the steam. Fantastic. Maybe what I'm writing here is meant for single fold tape. Not double fold. So let me find the bigger size. Here we go. Okay, I think we're in business. Dare I say it. I know I am going to be glad when this is done to have learned this skill, but boy, howdy, is it a pain in the ass. Ow, fuck. That's hot, Belle! And then somehow the only other clip I managed to record of me making this blouse was this bit of me pinning the waistband on, which, surprise, I also did backwards and had to rip off and do again. So, yeah. Welcome back. It has been quite a minute since I have seen you all, so let me catch you up on what happened. Where we last met, I was learning how to make bias tape, and boy was that a journey. The bias tape turned out to be like 4 inches too short for what I needed. I recut out everything, I re-ironed everything, I was ready to go, and then I didn't do anything for a number of days. So instead of working on this project, I did a number of other things that were also very enjoyable and very like crafty, I suppose. Very just, I let myself follow the dopamine and do things that I just wanted to do because I thought they would be enjoyable. I baked some bread that turned out delicious. I obtained a free piece of furniture from a friend and started to put that furniture together. Finished putting that furniture together. Um, in moving the other piece of furniture that this new piece of furniture was going to replace, I discovered the absolute crime scene of where my cat had left all of his catnip mice. There were 10 catnip mice under this piece of furniture. 10. And Laura, this is for you. I watched the last 2 episodes of Etoile. So, when I have finally run out of things to do, I came back to the blouse. This time to finish it up. I am glad I finished this. I am glad I did not give up any of the so many times I sewed something on backwards. I'm ultimately quite happy with the way that it has turned out. I think it looks really cute. I think it fits well. I'm already like have ideas of outfits I think it is going to look really cute with that I cannot wait to wear. I am happy with what I did for the waistband. I think the bow would have also been cute ultimately, but I think it would have limited what I felt comfortable wearing it with. So I'm glad I just did the plain waistband. I think it gives it a bit more versatility and wearability. I am pleased with it, and I'm pleased that I finished it, and I'm pleased that I gave myself permission to just kind of play around and have a little fun with this. And I am really looking forward to some of the future sewing projects that I want to accomplish. But after that, who knows where the dopamine will take us? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video as much as I have enjoyed making it. If you have, please feel free to give the video a like. It is the cheapest way to support your favorite creators. And if you want to see more videos like this, if you would like to join me on future hyperfixations, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification icon if you would like to be notified when I upload. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.